finally feeling like fall here in Columbia.
It is. I had to grab my jacket this morning. Let's go to Emily AC to see those current temperatures. Emily?
Light sweater. It's a little bit chillier due to the winds coming out of the north, but with cooler temperatures comes a little bit of hot coffee. I'll have a full forecast ready for you later on in the show. For now, back to you in the studio.
For more information on the Styled by Nada Foundation, visit www.styledbynada.com.
It may be heating up on the runway, but it's cooling down in Columbia.
That's right. Emily is outside on the horseshoe with a look at the current temperatures.
Guys, it's way cooler than it was last week. I'm out here on the horseshoe and I'm not even sweating. Will things stay cool or will it heat up? I'll have the full forecast for you and more after this break.
Well, fall is definitely here. It was a little chilly this morning whenever I left the house. Emily, how will the weather hold up this week?
Well, guys, it's been a little bit cooler than it was last week, with everything that's going on outside and everything that is happening in Columbia. But luckily, things are cooling down. It's 80 degrees outside. However, it's going to feel a little bit warmer with the 63% humidity and winds coming out of the northeast at 2 miles per hour. But across the state, it's going to be a high of 80 in Columbia, 80 in Columbia right now, 77 in Florence, and all through the Midlands and upstate, you can see how it is 80 and low 80s and high 70s. However, on the coast, it is in the low 80s, high 70s, just because of that ocean breeze. But tonight, it is going to cool down just a little bit. As you can see along the coast, luckily, the ocean breeze is going to keep things in the high 60s and low 70s. But if you look up into the upstate, it's going to be 67 in Florence, and in our own Columbia, it's going to be 68 with mid-60s in the upstate. And looking at tomorrow, the highs are going to be in the 80s all across the state, and luckily still in the 80s along the coast. Now, the trend across the nation is kind of weird because up in the West Coast, it's cooler. It's in the 40s, not what we're used to, but still in the Southeast, it's going to be in the mid to high 70s, possibly low 80s, which is normal for our South Carolina weather. Now, taking a look at the 5-day forecast, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be in the low 80s, and at the lows, it's going to be in the high 50s, low 60s. But going into fall break and going into the weekend, it's going to be 80 on Thursday, 81 on Friday, beautiful and sunny, and it'll be mostly sunny, and 85 on Saturday, which will be great for fall break and for anyone who's trying to get out and go for a walk, go with their dog, just have a nice, beautiful day without sweating.
I know I'm looking forward to fall break, but that weather makes me want to do something.
I know, right?
So
It'll
excited.
be perfect. It'll be absolutely perfect.
Well, sports is next on Carolina News. When we come back, Callista Brown will give us a sports update and tell us why Capstone was glowing red Friday night.
It wasn't too cold outside this morning, but let's see what our weather is looking like going forward into the week.
That's right, our Emily AC is outside with your first forecast. Emily, are these temperatures here to stay or is it about to get cold?
Thanks, guys. It really is fall. Although the cold front cooled us down to these amazing temperatures, we are still on the warmer side in the mid to low 70s with very little wind coming out of the north, so you won't be swept away too soon. You're going to want to bundle up a little later in the week and this weekend, but it's going to get down to the mid-60s by next week, and game night temperatures are going to be close to freezing. I'll have more for you later on the show, but for now, back to y'all in the studio.
The Gamecocks will tip off tonight at 7 p.m. against North Alabama Lions, and Drew Hill will have more on tonight's game later in the show. And let's find out how the weather is going to look for tonight's game. I'm really hoping that it's going to be nice like it's been today.
Yes, Emily AC is still outside with a quick look at the weather. Emily, if we're going to the game, should we bundle up?
Guys, it is still beautiful outside. Not a cloud in the sky, but it is definitely going to cool down later on tonight. So if you're going to the game, I'd bring a jacket. And if you're worried about it cooling down even more, don't worry. I'll have a full 5-day forecast right after this. Hey y'all, welcome back to Carolina News. Currently in Columbia, it is sunny and the temperature is around 69, 70 degrees with a humidity at 43, which makes the temperature feel around 72. And there's a lovely wind coming out of the northeast at about 6 miles per hour. Now, if we look across the state, You'll see in Columbia, obviously, again, around 69, 70 degrees, and that trend is continuing into the upstate and along the coast. But for tonight, it's going to cool down a little bit more. Columbia is going to hit at 48 degrees, Orangeburg at 49, but that coast is going to stay in the high 50s and low 60s. But be careful in that upstate, it's going to get a little bit chillier. For tomorrow, it's going to be another beautiful day. It's going to be 74 in Columbia, 75 in Orangeburg, and a mid-low 60s up in the upstate. But if you're going to Charleston or Myrtle Beach or Hilton Head, look for those 70 weather, and it's going to be a lovely, lovely day. No rain at all. If we look at our region, it's a little bit warmer than what you'll see in like up and higher up and to like north and Kentucky-ish and in North Carolina. But if you look on the coast again, it's in that 70. If we look across the country, it's going to be, if we look at our 5-day forecast, it's going to be, tomorrow it's going to be 74, mostly sunny, probably a few clouds here and there with a low of 47. And on Friday, right before game day, it's going to be 54 and a low of 31. So if you're going anywhere on Friday night, I definitely bring your North Face or a really, really heavy jacket. Saturday is going to be beautiful during the day. Again, it's going to be 55 though, so bring a jacket. And on game night, please, please bundle up. It's going to be cold. And on Sunday, it's going to start warming back up again, and it's going to be 65 and sunny. The low is going to be 41, and on Monday, again, it's going to be mostly sunny. Columbia, you have a beautiful day. Back to you all in the studio.
Well, I don't know about you, Eli, but I am not the biggest fan of snow.
Absolutely not.
Even though it kind of felt like it could have snowed this morning. It was so cold.
Emily AC is outside in the greenhouse with a live weather update. Emily, are you staying warm out there?
Hey y'all, I am trying my best. I have 3 layers on right now. That Arctic blast that came through yesterday afternoon has cooled us down to the low 40s, and it's going to keep dropping as we go into tonight. Although we won't be seeing any snow, we will definitely be seeing below freezing temperatures in the low 30s to upper 20s. Definitely try to stay bundled up and keep the heat on in your house. If you're trying to keep your pipes from freezing tonight, keep the faucets turned on to a low drip. I'll have the full forecast later on in the show, but for now, back to y'all in the studio.
You know, the best thing about Thanksgiving is that it happens inside usually.
Yeah, because this weather, the temperatures are continuing to drop. Let's check back in with Emily AC for a weather update. She is live outside of the greenhouse. Emily?
Thanks, guys. I'm still freezing out here. I do not appreciate these temperatures at all, but there may be warmer temperatures headed our way as we head into the weekend. But with those warmer temperatures comes rain showers. I'll have your full 5-day forecast and more when we come back. Welcome back to Carolina News. Right now it is beautiful and sunny, but it is 45 degrees outside, and so we are feeling a lot chillier than we normally would in November. The humidity's at 31% with winds coming out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. But if we look across the state, we are not the only ones. Columbia is sitting again at that lovely 45, with most of the Midlands and the upstate sitting in the mid to low 40s, but the coast is even feeling it, which is saying a lot for our cold Arctic blast that just came through. But it's gonna get colder. If we look into tonight's lows, we are going to again see freezing temperatures. Columbia is going to hit that 31 degrees, while the upstate is seeing 24, 27, it ends at 28. Luckily, the coast has that ocean to keep them a little bit warmer, but it's still going to get into the low 40s to the high 30s. If we look at tomorrow, it is going to be 48 in Columbia, and most of the Midlands, again, is going to be in those mid 40s to high 40s, but luckily if you go look at the coast, it's going to be 61 in Hilton Head and Charleston, while 58 in Myrtle Beach. Now if we look at our first national map, those high pressures are bringing in that cold, but luckily from the north and from the south we're getting those low pressures, which will bring warmer temperatures. But if we look at what it feels like, all that blue, all that purple, that's cold. That is the 30s and 40s that we are feeling down here in the southeast region, but across in the west of the country, it's a little bit warmer, so I'm a little bit jealous of Southern California. If we look at our 5-day forecast, you will see rain, rain, rain. On Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's going to be 48, 54, and 48 again. But luckily, as we get later on in the week, it's going to warm up a little bit, but I'll have a little bit more later on the show. Back to y'all in the studio.
absolutely need something to warm our hearts
Yeah,
and ourselves around here right
definitely.
now. So let's go see how Emily's doing in the Weather Center right now.
Hey guys, I do have a little bit of something. It's going to get a lot warmer as the week goes on in comparison to the temperatures we have seen. Again, we're going to have that rain the next couple of days, but Sunday and Monday, it's going to be mostly sunny at 56. That low is going to be kind of cold, but it's not going to be as bad as we're experiencing this week. And on Monday, it's going to be mostly cloudy, and with 58, it's going to be a better day than what we've had this week. I hope that it warms up and that y'all stay warm. Back to y'all in the studio.
Well, there's a lot going on around us today, but we can't forget about one thing that affects us all.
That's right, Callista. We have Emily AC outside to give us our first look at the weather. Emily?
Thanks, y'all. It's a little gloomy out here right now, but with all this cloud coverage comes lovely temperatures. It's a comfortable 62 out right now, and even though I'm wearing my jacket, it's not too bad. However, it's going to drop into the low 40s tonight, but don't worry, tomorrow it's going to clear up. It's going to fluctuate as we go on into later the week, but I'll have more for you on that later. For now, back to y'all in the studio.
Taylor, that is just too sweet.
That is the sweetest thing. And with Christmas right around the corner, I can't believe that we're still in the 60s today.
I know. It's crazy. Let's go back out to Emily AC to see if anything has changed. Emily?
Thanks, y'all. It's still kind of gloomy outside, but that sun is trying to peek through. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, but like I said earlier, that weather is definitely going to fluctuate. I'll have more for you right after this break.
Welcome back to Carolina News. Emily AC has joined us for our weather update and 5-day forecast.
Yeah, Emily, this weather has been all over the place these past few days. What can we expect for the next
really,
few days?
It really has. It's been insane. I mean, with all the 60 degrees and everything, I can't even pick an outfit half the time. But luckily today it was a beautiful 62 and the humidity is around 40%, which means my hair isn't exploding and most people's hair is kind of staying calm. But with the winds coming out of the northwest, it's not going to cool down too much. Now, if we look across the state, we're kind of seeing the same trends along, except for the upstate. It's in the high 50s, which is a little chillier for us. But if you look down at the coast, Myrtle Beach is 61, Charleston and Hilton Head are at 65, and Orangeburg is at 64. Now, when we look at tonight, like I said earlier, it is going to drop like a rock. It's going to be 42 in Columbia and 40 in the upstate. The coast is hanging tight to those high to mid 40s, and Hilton Head is sitting at 50 degrees. But if we look at tomorrow, it's going to jump back up to 60s. Columbia is going to sit at around 62, and the upstate again is going to be 57 and 59, and Rock Hill and Greenville respectively. But the coast is going to cool down just a little bit. Myrtle Beach is going to reach 59 degrees, while Charleston and Hilton Head are at 64 and 62. Now that fluctuation is coming tomorrow night. It is going to be freezing, and I mean literally. Rock Hill is hitting 32 degrees, while Columbia is going to sit at 36. Greenville is going to be around 38, and that coast is even going to experience this cold weather at 38 degrees, 42, and 47. But if we look at our 5-day forecast, you'll see, again, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be really pretty during the day, but those cool temperatures are going to hit hard at night. And if we look at the beginning of next week, we are going to see rain and high temperatures at 62 and 47 for the lows for Monday and Tuesday. But Wednesday is going to start clearing up a little bit with the temperature being around 55 degrees and a low of 34. And it's not great. It's not below freezing and snow, so not too bad.
I'm not ready for those freezing temperatures, Emily.
No.
Well, sports is next on Carolina News.